What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JohnnyKpicks. And in this video, I'll be breaking down all the fights for UFC Vegas 107, Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. But before we get to that, please hit that like button for me real quick. Subscribe if you are new or if you just haven't yet. And don't forget to turn on those notifications so you know when I put out my videos, when we go live on Wednesday nights or any other fun stuff. But yeah, we had our week off and we are back to fights. Is this the greatest card in the world? There's some okay ones. There's some a lot of switcheroos, if you want to say. We'll get to those in here in a second. A lot of cancellations, visa issues, anything you can think of, it happened. And that's what usually happens after like a week break with UFC. Like there's a whole bunch of fights that usually just end up either not happening, getting canceled, people getting injured, something along those lines, and we have to suffer. But hey, at least fights are back. That's all that matters. We're not going to complain all that much. But next card after this one will be a very good one, hopefully, and then the rest of the way should be pretty good too. If you look down the path, there's some really, really good ones coming up. But let's not bore anyone with the last results because mine were terrible. So you probably saw it on social media how awful I did. So we gotta get back on track. I'm glad we had that week off because I just took a little cleanse, and then now we're back and I'm ready. So let's get right into the first fight of the night, and I'm going to jump over to it, which is going to be Rayan Dos Santos versus Alice Ardelean. And Dos Santos, which I believe she changed her name to, it used to be Rayan Amanda, I believe. But anyways, Dos Santos, solid grappler, good submissions. Striking is just okay. She can be a little hittable on the feet, sometimes a little bit low volume. I was actually there when she fought last, I believe. Against Puja. I thought she won that fight, but it was a very close one. I thought she did just a little bit more than Puja did, but it is what it is. But she does like to push forward. She is very durable, but just sometimes she can be a little hittable. That's the only thing with me. And then Alice, she's a pretty good fighter, good striking. She does like to push forward as well. She's very durable, very tough. Okay power in her hands. Sometimes she can be a little sloppy, especially as the fight goes on. And she's mainly a striker. She's not really going to mix in the takedowns too much. But yeah, this is an interesting fight. I'm going to go with Rayan though. I'm not running to the window to go bet her. But I do think she is a better, well-rounded fighter. I think she can mix in some takedowns if need be. I think she could maybe land a little or have a little bit more power, if you want to say, maybe do the better shots. But overall, though, I think this could end up being a 29-28 close fight. But I do side on Rayan just because I just think she can mix in some takedowns if she's in trouble. She's got 8 subs on her resume, and also Alice has been subbed 2 times, and that's the only time she's been finished. She hasn't been knocked out. So that's something maybe you can look at in the props. Maybe Dos Santos by sub. Maybe that's a good look. So give me Dos Santos to win. I'm going to say by decision, though. I think both girls are very tough. I think it'll be a very close 29-28 decision win, but I'm just going to go with Dos Santos' side for this one. We'll see what the odds are with the other props and stuff. But like I said, not running to the window here to bet Rayan at minus 285? Meh. I'll probably pass on that. If it was like maybe 180, okay. I can maybe get on board with that. But the next one is going to be Marquel Mederos versus Balaji Oki. And Mederos is a good striker. He throws a lot of volume. Good power in his hands. He can mix in some wrestling here and there, but he is primarily a striker. He does have pretty good striking defense. Good takedown defense as well. He did recently just fight, I want to say not too long ago. So almost 2 months ago against Austin Hubbard. Very, very close fight. I think it all came down to round 3. And I think Mederos was able to get a reverse on Hubbard and stay on top or something. It was something like that. Something very close where he might have been losing that fight, and then he made up for it in that last round. And then Oki, solid striker himself. He does have good power, good technical striking. He throws a lot of volume, but he does slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. He's got good takedown defense, quick hands, good combos. If he does get on the mat, I don't know if he really knows what to do. He did try to go for a takedown against Chris Duncan and get guillotine, which isn't the greatest look right there, especially in the first round. I think this fight probably stays on the feet for the majority of this one. I think it could be a close one again. Oh, this is a close one. I want to pick Mederos, and I think I'm going to, but I just believe he could mix in some wrestling if need be. And Oki's takedown defense is pretty decent. What is it at? 86%. So I don't know if Markwell is going to be, having a lot of success, but I think on the feet it's going to be a close defensive, technical striking battle. But I just lean Mederos here ever so slightly. I know he's the dog. I believe he's, what is he? Plus 160 on DraftKings. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a close decision again. So I'm just going to go with the dog here. I think he gets this one done. Don't have anything much more than that. I think it does go to decision. Look at the overs. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to bet a side here. Maybe look at the plus 3.5 for Markwell as well. I think this fight goes to decision more times than not. And I think it'll be a close decision again. Next one, Kurt Holobaugh versus Jordan, the Monkey King Leavitt. And Kurt Holobaugh, solid striker. He's got good power in his hands. He does like to push forward, put on a good pace. He's got good 1-2s and combos. His takedown defense isn't great at 39%, so that's a little worrisome. But he does have good grappling. He does have good submissions off his back as well. And he's durable, and he's a dog. And that's what you want for an underdog, and he's the underdog here. And then we got Jordan Leavitt, who's a very good grappler. He got good submissions too. His striking isn't great at all. He does have some decent low kicks, if you want to say leg kicks, but his hands aren't great. Let's see. He struggles a little bit to get some takedowns. His wrestling isn't the greatest. He can get some takedowns, but he does have pretty good top control when he's on top. But sometimes he can be a little too aggressive when he does get the takedowns and go for the grappling, as we saw in the Chase Hooper fight. That fight was fun for 3 minutes, and he just got all out reversed and stuff. But there is a path for Jordan to win, and we've seen it time and time again on the Holobaugh side. If you can take down Holobaugh and stay on top and stay safe, you're probably going to win the fight. But I don't know. Kurt's going to be winning the striking 100%. So if Jordan can't get those takedowns, Kurt's going to be winning. So I'm going to go with Kurt Holobaugh again. I took him against Alexander Hernandez, and Hernandez was able to get him down. But Hernandez, I think, is a little bit more physical, if you want to say, than Jordan. I think Jordan struggles a little bit more to get those takedowns. I think that's how he has to win, because he's not going to be able to strike with Kurt at all. And we've seen Jordan get out scrambled and submitted as well when he is on top. So he's going to have to be, Jordan's got to be a little bit careful as well. So like I said, Kurt has pretty good, off his back, he's got good submissions. So give me Holobaugh to win. I'm going to say he finds a finish. I'm going to say he finds the KO. Even though Jordan's never been KO'd, but I think he does find a finish. We'll just say finish just to be safe. He's the dog anyways, I believe. He's at plus 154 at the moment. I mean, I would look at the plus 3.5 as well. I don't think Jordan's going to be able to finish Kurt. I think he wins by decision more times than not. Yeah, because Kurt's durable. So I don't think Jordan's going to be able to find a submission off Kurt. So give me Kurt to win. I'm going to say by a finish. I don't know if it's going to be sub or KO, but I would say if it's definitely going to, if Kurt can keep it on the feet, I could see a KO for sure. But we'll see what happens with this one. But going with the dog again, why not? Next one. This is a short notice fight for Trevin Giles versus Andreas Gustafsson. And let's see. Trevin Giles, solid striker. He's got a good straights, a good jab as well, good boxing. He does have some wrestling he can use in his back pocket, but he's mainly a striker. Okay, takedown defense. He can be a little hittable on the feet sometimes. His chin is a little questionable as well. He's been finished 6 times in his 7 losses. That's something to think about in this fight. But Gustafsson's making his UFC debut. He's a solid wrestler and grappler. Good striking as well with power in his hands. He has a good ground and pound if he does get on top and he gets those takedowns. He's durable, pretty good cardio. he hasn't been finished in his career. I don't think Giles is going to be able to finish Gustafsson. It's more likely he's going to have to keep this fight on the feet and probably just out jab and outbox him. But I got to go with Andres here. I think he gets this done. I think he can get the takedowns if he wants to. Giles' takedown defense isn't all that bad, 72%. But I do think Andres can get some takedowns, maybe a couple at least. And I don't think Giles is going to be able to get back up on most of those takedowns anyways, you want to say. But on the feet, though, I mean, the more technical boxer, if you want to say, is probably going to be Trevin. But more power coming back is going to be Gustafsson. So I'm thinking Andres mixes in some wrestling. And if he lands a bomb on Trevin, I don't know if Trevin's going to be able to take it. Let's put it that way. Because I think he's been KO'd against Prates. He got submitted. Yeah, he's just, the last time he lost to Mike Malott was his only unanimous decision loss. That was a weird fight. Mike Malott didn't do too much in that fight. I don't even know if he won, to be honest. So it was a weird, boring fight. So give me Andres. Like I said, I'm gonna say he finds a KO. Maybe second round KO. I think he gets it done. Next one is gonna be, I don't want to skip. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's gonna be Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. And Ketlen's a solid striker. Okay power in her hand. She's got good takedown defense. Okay takedowns herself and grappling. She can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. She is pretty tough. She can be bullied up against the cage. We've seen that time and time again in some of her fights. And yeah, she's just Ketlen Vieira, friend of the show. Macy Chiasson, though, she's well-rounded. She's very dangerous. She's got good striking, good power in her hands, good elbows. Her striking defense isn't the greatest, but she can take one to give one. And I think she gives back harder shots than what she receives more times than that. She does have pretty good grappling, as we saw. She's got some submissions recently against Pani. She was able to KO Bueno Silva with a cut, with a good elbow. Yeah, she's got good takedowns too. She's very good in the clinch. She's very tough and durable. I think I already said that, but she's well-rounded. So this is going to be a fun fight. I just think the more dangerous fighter here is Macy, and I don't think Ketlen's going to have to win a decision here, and I don't know if she's going to be able to, because I do think Macy's going to be doing a lot more damage and a lot more pushing forward, going for that finish, and I do think she's going to be able to find it. So give me Macy to win by a finish as well. I think she can find probably a KO, or maybe like a ground and pound KO, something along those lines. But she's just going to be more. I think she's going to be stronger, more physical. She's going to eat a couple shots here and there, but I think she's going to be giving them back. She's got good elbows, like I said, too. So I like Macy here. I think she is it's a pick 'em basically. And I could see that. I mean, I could see Ketlen win this one too, but I'm just going with the more dangerous of the two. And that to me, that's Macy all day. And now she's going to have to make weight. That's the problem sometimes with Macy, but lately she's been looking pretty good, and I'm going to roll with her. Next one, Filho versus Alan Nascimento. And Filho is well-rounded, solid striking. He's got good power in his hands. He does like to push forward. Sometimes he can get a little crazy, likes to get in the brawls, but he's pretty durable. He's tough. He's got good takedowns and very good grappling, good scrambles too. He can be taken down kind of easily. A 56% takedown defense, so that does worry me here in this fight a little bit. But I do like his rest. Like I said, I like his grappling. I think he's got good scrambles and good reverses and stuff like that. And Nascimento hasn't fought in a while. I'll tell you that. He hasn't fought in about 2.5 years. So that's already a red flag here. But he's a very good grappler. He's got good submissions. His takedowns are okay. Good top control when he does get those takedowns. His striking is just okay as well, too. And yeah, I mean, Nascimento's game, we've seen it time and time again when he does fight. It's getting the fight to the mat and controlling him until he can get a submission. And he's not going to strike with you. He's going to go for takedowns because that's his bread and butter. Filho, I think he's more well-rounded. I think if he does get taken down, I think he's fine. I like his striking better. I think going to be more dangerous on the feet. On the mat, I mean, they're both dangerous. I think Allen's a little bit more safe. I think, and then Filho is a little bit more aggressive with submissions. But I'm going to go with the dog here again. I believe he is the dog. Yep, plus 140 on Filho. I think he gets this one done. I think he wins probably by decision. I don't know if he's going to be able to submit Nascimento. He's never lost by finish at all. So I'm going to go ahead and say by decision. I know it's weird to say because Filho is very dangerous. He's only got one decision win, but I think this is going to be a fun fight. I think no one's going to get subbed. If there is a KO, I think it's going to be Filho knocking out Nascimento. But I'm going to go with the decision here. Going with the more dangerous guy as well, just in case. But maybe the more technical fighter definitely is probably Nascimento if you want to be a little safe. But why do you want to be safe? It's not fun. It's not fun to be safe all the time. Most of the time, yeah, but not all the time. So yeah, give me Filho to win by decision. This is gonna be a fun fight though. I think there's gonna be some fun exchanges on the mat, reversals, and then we'll see what happens with that. Next one, it's gonna be Zachary Reese versus Dushko Todorovic. Can't even say the name. Reese is well-rounded. He's got solid striking with good power in his hands. He's got good takedown defense. He's got good grappling. All of his wins but one, I believe, have come in the first round. And that was his last fight against, or last win, I should say, was against Jose Medina. For whatever reason, he wasn't able to get that finish from him, and he got knocked out in his last fight against Azamat. So it is what it is. But Dushko, let's see. He's a pretty well-rounded guy. He's mainly a striker, though. He can use some wrestling. He does have power in his hands. The thing with him, though, is he doesn't really have great striking defense. And he gets cracked, and it's game over. He doesn't put his hands up. He uses head movement more times than not. But, it does take a couple shots for him to at least get, knocked out. He's not like a one-and-done guy. But the thing about it is he can get cracked pretty easily 2 or 3 times in a row, and then it's over for him. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Zachary Reese. My wife is probably not going to like that. He is dangerous. He's dangerous enough on the feet. I think he can crack Dushko. And, if Dushko does go for some takedowns, I think Zachary Reese has good submissions, good grappling. I think he can get back up. And, I just think he's going to win this fight, unfortunately. So Zachary's inside the distance, probably first or second round. I think this is a good parlay piece for sure. He's minus 285 at the moment. I think that's fine. Anything below minus 300, I think is okay. This is one of the more confident picks, if you want to say, on the card for me. I think he gets this one done rather easily. So let's see. I'm going to go to a different thing real quick. So bear with me while I change up the stuff here. And here we go. So we got Brahimaj versus Billy Goff. And Brahimaj, good grappler, good submissions, good striking as well. He's pretty well-rounded. He's not really known to be a KO guy, but I believe he got a KO in his last win, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he got a KO against Mickey Gall. He is durable. He can slow down a little bit as the fight goes on, but he's tough. He's going to stay in there. And then Billy Goff, also a tough guy, well-rounded himself too. He's more so a striker. He likes to push forward. He's a grinder. He's got good takedowns, good cardio, very durable. Like I said, he likes to work the body. This is going to be an interesting fight. This fight was, I was going to mention this earlier and I totally forgot until just now. So this fight was kind of put together recently because both fighters here had different opponents. And I think both of their opponents' problems were visa issues. So they decided, hey, why don't we just throw this fight together? So they weren't supposed to fight each other. So it's kind of a short notice fight, but they were in full camps. So they probably weren't prepping for any of their styles. So this could be a fight where you might just want to skip it all together. But I'm going to go with Goff to win. I just think in the later rounds, I think he'll be there more so than Brahimaj. But right, I mean, both guys are very tough and durable. I just like Billy Golf a little bit more, even though he kind of underperformed for me in his last fight. But it was who was it against? It was against Trey Waters, and actually, that fight was pretty freaking close. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe Billy even won that fight, but he might have should have won. Let's be honest. He didn't underperform. I just thought he'd be a little bit better than that to make it as close as it was, but it was pretty close. But give me Billy Golf to win by decision. I think either way, it's going to be a close 29-28, maybe even a split. I think both guys are going to have their moments. And I just think Billy's going to be able to just do enough in the third because it's probably going to be 1-1 going into the third. And I think I trust Billy in the third more than Brahimaj. But very close fight. I'm probably going to stay away from this one. I think there's just too many red flags at the moment. This should be a fun one to watch. But that's what I'm going to go with for this one. Billy Golf by decision. And we're going to jump right back into the other way here. Let me make sure that we're all set, and we are good. So yeah, we got Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. And Jacoby's a very good kickboxer. He's got good volume. He throws a lot. He does have some power here and there. In some fights, he doesn't really show it. In some fights, he just knocks somebody out. It's weird. Normally pretty durable, but lately not so much. He got knocked out against Dominic Reyes. He's been wobbled a few times in some of these fights. He did beat Victor Petrino pretty easily in the third. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to keep this fight on the feet. And the only thing that just worries me a little bit is the chin. Because if he gets cracked pretty good, sometimes he gets a little wobbly. And then he gets a little scared and hesitant and doesn't really throw too much if he's not KO'd by that point. And we got Bruno Lopes, solid striker himself. He does throw a lot of volume. Sometimes he can get a little reckless. He's not as technical as Dustin. He does have okay grappling. Takedown defense is just okay. He did beat Magomed in his last fight 4 months ago. Was that a pretty decent win? Some say yes. I don't think so because I don't think Magomed's all that good. But this is a pretty big step up for Bruno here. And I'm going to go with Dustin. I know he's older, maybe a little bit more miles, but I think he's more technical. I think he can keep the fight on the feet. And I think he can just pick apart Bruno. And you just have to be careful early, Dustin. And I think he gets it done. I mean, Bruno does have some power in his hands. He is pretty dangerous early, but I think as the fight goes on, I don't think he's going to be able to get him out of there like in the late second, third round, unless Dustin just gets too reckless. So give me Dustin to win by decision. I think he wins. He can win, maybe I can even see a 30-27 for Dustin. But the only little worry for me is just Dustin's chin early. That's it. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. Next one, co-main event, Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein. Very good fight here. Gamrot is a very good wrestler, if you want to say a chain wrestler, because he just wrestles and tries to go for takedowns. He averages a crazy amount, 5 takedowns a fight, sometimes more. His striking is just okay. He does kind of throw a right hand just set up his takedowns if he needs to. But that's his game plan. It's just to out wrestle you. He's got good cardio. He's pretty durable. He can get rocked, but he hasn't been knocked out. We've seen him get knocked down before a couple times against very good strikers. Ludovic is a very good striker. So, and then you got Ludovic Klein, who's a well-rounded guy. I would say he's a very good striker. Very technical kickboxer. He's got good kicks, good power in his hands, good power in his kicks. He has shown some wrestling and grappling in his last handful of fights. I don't think he's going to be able to, or not be able to, but I don't think he should be trying to grapple with Gamrot. I think he should probably keep it on the feet in this one. We have seen him kind of slow down in some fights, but that was mainly like when he was a featherweight and early on into his lightweight career. But his last few fights, he's looked pretty good. I mean, he hasn't really fought the greatest competition. The last 3 fights, Thiago Moises' fight doesn't really look that good now. Roosevelt Roberts, he he should maybe got him out of there. AJ Cunningham was a short notice fight, but the Bahamondes fight, that fight was very good, but he was able to out wrestle and grapple him in that fight. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Gamrot, but luckily, Gamrot's not the best striker like Bahamondes either. So wrestler versus striker. Lately, the strikers have been winning. I'm going to go Leavitt Klein. I'm not very confident, as you saw in my face there, but I think this is going to be a fun fight, though. I'll tell you that. I'm just going to go with Klein. I think he's way better striker, obviously, and if he can stuff the takedowns, his takedown defense is at 91%. Sure, I do think he's going to get taken down at some point. Gamrot just doesn't quit. But we've seen Gamrot get, like I said earlier, he's been knocked down a lot in some of his fights. That loses him around immediately. So I can see Leavitt Klein catching Gamrot at one point, and maybe that's all he needs. Just like a second round knockdown to win it outright. I like Klein. I like Klein. I'm going to go by decision. I think this fight does go over. But I think Klein is going to be able to get at least one knockdown. At least one knockdown. So either way, very fun fight. There's a lot of plus 3.5 spreads that I will be looking at on these props because I think a lot of these fights on this card are going to be very close, and the dogs are going to be very live in this one. I'm very scared for some of my picks here. I might not be doing a lot of bets, but it is what it is. And then we got the main event. Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Blanchfield's a very good grappler, pretty good takedowns. Sometimes she does struggle against stronger opponents to get those takedowns. But she has pretty good striking. It has been improving. Good volume. She can be a little hittable on the feet. Sometimes she doesn't really move her head off the center line, but she's durable. And good cardio for 5 rounds. She did lose to Mananfro, and she was just outclassed on the feet, and she couldn't get any takedowns. And then the Rose fight was a very good fight for her. Rose won the first 2 rounds, and then Aaron won the last 3. So she was able to get takedowns. And like I said, her striking is looking better. Talia Santos, also another good win there at the time anyways. Now it's maybe not aging well. But then you got Macy Barber over here. She's a pretty good striker, good wrestler too. She's very strong, good takedowns. She's very good in the clinch. Pretty good cardio, very durable. She can get rocked at times. She can be hittable. Her takedown defense isn't the greatest, so that does worry me for her here in this fight. And also, it is 5 rounds, and I don't think she's been in a 5-round fight in the UFC anyways. This might be her first one. Aaron Blanchfield has a couple under her belt already, and she went all 5 rounds, and she looked good in all of them, and she won one, and she lost one. I was wanting... Coming into this fight, I was wanting to pick the underdog in Macy Barber. I changed my mind. I think Aaron Blanchfield wins this fight. I was looking at some tape when I was watching. I just think she's a cleaner fighter. She's going to be a little bit more technical. She's got good technical takedowns. I think she can set them up with her striking. If Macy gets a little too aggressive, which I do think she's gonna at some point in this fight, because that's her style, she's probably going to get taken down. And that's what worries me. Macy is going to have to just bully Aaron, which she could. She could bully Blanchfield to a decision win, or maybe a ground and pound knockout. But I don't see that. I think it's gonna be. But that's the thing. It's 5 rounds. Macy might do good early, but go back and watch the Rose fight. Blanchfield looked really good rounds 3, 4, and 5, and that's what I keep coming back to. I think she's gonna be better in the championship rounds, and I think she wins a decision, maybe 48-47, close decision. I don't think it's going to be split, but you're going to know who wins, and I think it's going to be Blanchfield. Like I said, I wanted to come in here picking the dog at plus 200 odds, which I think the line's a little wide, but it is 5 rounds. If this was a 3-round fight, I would probably pick Macy, honestly. But it's 5. I think Blanchfield wins. I'm going to say by decision, but it's going to be a fun fight to see who's going to be the next contender in the flyweight. I don't know what they're going to do. because Natalia Silva's waiting for their title shot. Maybe she's next. Maybe one of these two girls are next. Who knows? So it should be fun. But all right, that is it. That's all of them. That is all 11 fights. Who knows if we're gonna get a couple more here and there added? We don't know, because the weeks off, just messes up all these fights. But thank you everybody for watching. Please hit that like button on your way out, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave some comments below too on some of the fights you're looking forward to, some of your bets that you have already. Anything like that helps the algorithm, all that out, and all helps out my videos like that. And then also check out my Patreon, patreon.com/JohnnyKpicks. You can get all my early UFC content, all my bets, all my cheat sheets, all that good stuff. You can support it for free, or you can support it for $5.99 a month. No big deal. If not, that's cool too. And also Wednesday night is Defend Your Units. I will have a special guest on each and every week. You know that. So be there or be square. Till next time, happy fight night.